Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the OnePlus 6T. This is the T-Mobile version, and if you've followed my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that years ago I used to go over OnePlus designs, and this was my favorite one, and the last one I took a look at was the OnePlus X, and this is an amazingly nice design, and you'll see I'm a little bit meticulous with storing my phones, and the OnePlus 2 was a great phone, and you'll see when I put them back they look just like they're new. So I've been using these for a very long time. Let's set them up here, and this is the OnePlus 6T. Now this is a massive box. If I compare it to an iPhone box, this is the XS Max box, and while the box doesn't say much, we may get a little bit more value for the money here. So this comes in at $579 with 128 gigs of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So that's a pretty amazing value for what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the phone in just a moment. We'll set it aside and let's see what's in the box. So if we pull this out here, we've got a little package, and inside we get a free case. So that's some pretty good value right there. We've got a free case, so it's just a flexible TPU case. We'll set that aside for now. And then in this little documentation pamphlet box, it's very nicely packaged. Let's move this, pull everything out of here. And we have a SIM card removal tool. We have a SIM card. We have a welcome guide and some stickers that talk about the community. So that's pretty nice as well. And let's set all of this aside, and you'll see we have a charger. This is the dash charger, but they don't call it that anymore, but super fast charging. And then I love how they have these wrapped in these little cable stays. I see this on LG monitors and things. I love when they do that, but it's USB to USB-C for charging. And then because this one doesn't have a headphone jack, we've got the USB-C to headphone adapter. That's the one downside to this OnePlus, but you do get a larger display. So let's move all of this out of the way and take a closer look at the phone. So here's the phone itself. It's a ceramic coating, I guess, according to OnePlus, that is a mirror finish. Now, I know some people don't like this because of fingerprints and things, but I really like the look of this in the light. Let's remove this. And this is glass front and back, but it's Corning Gorilla Glass 6, so that's a pretty good thing. And then a fingerprint reader on the front. Now, if you look around the edge, they've pre-installed a screen protector. It's something you don't get from many other manufacturers, and I may not leave it the whole time, but it is something that's nice to know. Now, you can see there's the little notch. It's got a forward-facing camera that's 16 megapixels with an f2.0 aperture. On this side, we've got a volume rocker. On this side, we've got our little switch for setting silent or vibrate. We've got our power sleep wake button. And then on the bottom, we've got USB-C. It's offset a little bit like the iPhone XR. We've got our speakers and microphone. And then up at the very top, there's a little speaker there as well. Now on the back, we have two pretty impressive cameras. They've both got Sony sensors, which is nice, 16 megapixels and 20 megapixels with an f1.7 aperture, and they can record in 4K 60p, just like this video. Also, the internal specs are impressive for what you're paying. $579 for 128 gigs of storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's got a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 with an Adreno 630 GPU. Also, it's got a 6.41-inch optic AMOLED display, 1080 by 2340, 402 pixels per inch, and all of this for under $600. Now, you can bump that up to $629 for 256 gigabytes of storage. It's dual SIM as well. Let's turn it on. Now, there's no wireless charging, but I think that's fine since you've got that dash charger. Shouldn't be an issue. Now they've removed the headphone jack, and I know that's a big thing for OnePlus, but they've put the fingerprint sensor under the display, which is pretty awesome. This also works on Verizon in the United States, even though it's T-Mobile, so it will work with any carrier pretty much around the world. So we'll go ahead and hit start, and then we'll agree to the terms. User experience program. You can either do this or don't. It doesn't really matter. System stability. Push notifications, connect to a mobile network. We'll skip that. I might put my SIM card in a little bit later. Now, the display is supposed to be fairly anti-reflective, but I can't really see that right now. Now it says copy apps and data, transfer your apps, photos, contacts, Google account, and more. You can choose which content to copy. We'll hit next. So we have a few backups, Pixel 3 backup, Pixel 3 XL. Let's do the Pixel 3 backup. So you'll see you can back up everything, call history, apps, device settings. We'll restore them. So I'm going to skip the face unlock, but I do want to try this fingerprint reader. So let's go ahead and hit next. We'll create a pin. So here's the fingerprint setup. Let's go ahead and try that. It's just like I'm actually using a normal fingerprint reader. And I have to say, I prefer a fingerprint reader as opposed to Face ID. It's just something I know some people give me some flack for, but I actually do prefer it. I won't add any other accounts right now. We'll wait for this. Then we can get into the OS itself. And there's screen gestures, draw a V to turn on the flashlight. I used to love that on the older OnePlus devices. Draw an O for the camera, double tap to wake, and draw with 2 fingers to play music. Now, there are some screen options as well. If you want the default, you can have that. If you want it to be very accurate, sRGB. Looks a little bit dull usually. DCI P3 is wide color gamut. Adaptive mode, custom color. I'll just leave it on default, see how that goes. And then select the font that you want to use. Roboto, OnePlus is their recommended font. I like Roboto. We'll stick with that. This is the OnePlus 6T home screen. I think it looks great. Let's try out that fingerprint sensor. Double tap to wake. Nice and quick. That's pretty quick. I don't have any issues with that. And I think it's great being under the screen. I like that being right there. Now the camera is something I've always wanted to check out on these, as I've really liked OnePlus's cameras. I've used them for videos years ago with the OnePlus 2 and OnePlus 1 for 4K video. I've actually always been a fan of OnePlus. I did have some issues with them a long time ago, but I really like them, especially this little switch here. I don't know why more phones don't do this. Some people said it's because it's patented. I don't believe that's the case, actually. So it looks like it shouldn't be an issue. The app launcher looks very familiar. We've got the whole Google thing there. And then as far as our different menus and settings, I'll go over these over the next couple days. And I've been using Android since the first Android phone. I know a lot of people see me doing a lot of iPhone things, but I've been using Android since the original. So let me know your thoughts about it. And if you haven't seen anything specific that you'd like to see, that you haven't found on any other reviews, let me know so I can include those in the reviews for you and hopefully answer any questions you have. I think it's a great value for money, and this screen looks pretty good off axis. No issues there. But again, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.